I found a dope. Isn't Flash Player gone?
Yeah, I've been postponing it.
Can we just point out you can't play like on addictinggames.com anymore?
It's so stupid.
Yeah, pretty dumb. I used to play a lot of games.
What was your favorite Addicting Games game?
It was Zombie something 2. Zombie Trailer Park, maybe? That or Zed Dead 2.
You and your zombie games?
Dude, I swear to God, so much fun.
What's the one where you like start off in a porta potty and you gotta like roll down the hill and then you go up and you see how far
I know.
you
Yes,
can go.
I know what you're talking about.
And then
That
you like. Would you guys rather do addictinggames.com or Cool Math Games?
Addicting Games.
definitely Addicting Games.
Really?
Yeah. Plus, Huda Math was better.
But you. What?
Who the f*** are you?
Temple Run, dude.
Temple Run was fun.
That was an
Oh my
OG.
God. Dude, I had the Indiana Jones character. I was f***ing just running, dodging, weaving.
I bet you if we each had 3 runs, I would make it the longest.
Probably. I was not great at Temple Run. It was fun to play, but
I'd challenge you to Temple Run. That'd be
I
fun.
think we need to do it.
I think we'd have
A
to.
Temple Run segment at some point.
Are the cameras recording or should we?
Oh, everything's recorded.
Oh, neat.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 384 show. I know it's been way too long, and I'm sure you guys have been just dying for us to be back, but we're back. We are back, and I have some friends with me now. I got Mike, I got Dylan. Why don't you guys introduce yourself real quick?
What's up, guys? This is Mike.
I'm Dylan, and yeah, you're watching Disney Channel. Can we say that?
Maybe?
Maybe.
No, that might cause a CND.
You're
if
watching
pick
the
it up.
384 show.
We have completely moved areas now. We got a whole new studio, a whole new setup, a whole new team. We got a whole new squad going. Man, my voice just cracked so hard right there. The excitement, man, is coming
Pre-game
out of
jitters.
this. We got a lot of stuff planned, and I hope you guys enjoy. We're gonna kind of kick this off. We're gonna kind of change what we were doing before, and we're gonna set up a whole new podcast, and that's what this is. Whether you're listening on the podcast, you know, this is for you guys. And then as we go through the podcast, we're just gonna pull out little things here and there that maybe some people might be interested in. So you can catch us on YouTube, where we'll have segments of the podcast of the podcast.
English, mother. Do you speak it?
There's certain segments of the podcast, there's certain things you want to listen to, because we're going to talk about it all. I mean, anything you guys want us to talk about, things that are going on in sports, in current events, literally anything you can possibly ask for, you'll find it on YouTube. We will be talking about it. Or if you want all the magic all at once and see our sexy faces for a whole hour, you can catch us on the podcast on whatever streaming platform that you listen to, and we will make sure that we make that happen. How you guys feel? Welcome to the show.
Pretty dandy, not gonna
I'm
lie.
feeling great.
We are talkers too, so you better listen.
Yeah, this is gonna be a 3-hour podcast. No, I'm kidding. It's not gonna be 3 hours.
That would be
Down the road.
That would be interesting.
Oh God, that would be so long.
So the only thing left on our to-do list really is to come up with a name, and hopefully it'll kind of hit us as we go. If you guys have any ideas, you're more than welcome to throw it in there. Have
Vote
some sort of
on
idea.
Crack Street Boys.
Nifty.
Put that on the wall of ideas. But anyways, I say we just kick this right off for like the millionth time now. Batman has a new face.
And
they're
that we're
coming
about to find out.
Again. How do you guys, first of all, how do you guys feel about what we've had so far? My favorite is probably The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, trilogy. Oh, easily.
Because that's just what...
Christian Bale, he pulled that off. He was the toned, not overly ripped like Ben Affleck, who just like
I wouldn't call Ben Affleck ripped, but
no, not ripped, just huge, freaking huge.
beefed up a little.
I would say he's bulky.
Yeah.
He was the bulky Batman.
Yeah,
For sure.
I mean, he fit the Batman they wanted, which was like from the original Frank Miller version of him, where he was older, thicker, a little bit more gravelly, but like still, I wouldn't. I don't know. He played it well. He played it well enough for what it was written. I'll go with that.
And you gotta respect the Christian Bale Batman because you had to deal with the Heath Ledger, which was the second one. You had the Ra's al Ghul, who was the first one, original movie, which I think they portrayed that pretty well.
Liam Neeson is a great actor, yes.
Right? Heath Ledger,
yeah.
that was just a great performance by him. He really dived into character. Then you had the whole Bane, like, finalizing the trilogy. That was, British dude. He's in Venom. Main actor.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy played Bane?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Crazy, right?
No way.
Yeah.
So he's just another list on people that have played multiple superhero movie characters.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Chris Evans. Throwback to when he played the Human Torch.
The Human Torch is red.
I still have yet to watch the most recent.
Why? I haven't watched
Fantastic
it.
Four.
You're not
Where is
missing
it?
much.
I mean, you're losing Chris Evans and Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
I don't know what else there is to say about that.
Right.
I mean,
Now, I heard they are going to be rebooting the Fantastic Four movies because...
Again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, they are going to be doing a better job. That's supposed to be implemented in, like, 2022, 23. It's going to be the next, so to speak, like, a Avengers kind of thing.
does Disney have?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
gonna be handled by Marvel Studios with Disney's purchase of Fox. They got the rights back for a lot of characters, including the biggest one was Fantastic Four.
Right. Well, don't they have Deadpool now too?
Yeah.
Yes. Now...
They have all the mutants.
I'm a little concerned about that though.
I mean, they've already confirmed that there's going to be a third one. I know Ryan Reynolds did talk about him going on hiatus. He's going to take a little bit of a break from movies.
He has the time to, though, because they're not going to be even releasing Deadpool 3 until 22, 23, because they already have a delayed lineup for Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Is Disney gonna allow?
Yes.
They've
to
talked
be
about it,
rated
yes.
Yes.
There would be a huge just...
Could you imagine Deadpool not rated R?
That's like saying Venom. I mean, not rated R.
But
I was a
Venom's
little
not.
disappointed in that.
Venom's rated PG-13.
Yeah. I feel like
Not the same. Rated R would have been great.
Yeah.
Would have been biting off heads left and right.
I think it would have been better. Like, I understand they had to go PG-13 for the first one, but if they could have... I haven't seen this Let There Be Carnage, but, like, Carnage is such a bloody, terrifying, like, villain. Like,
Yeah.
you need him to be rated R, so, I don't know. I'm not excited. I'll wait till Let There Be Carnage is on some streaming service, and I'll give it a watch, but, like, I'm not going to go spend money on it, because I know it's not going to be exactly what I want.
To me, it's worth the watch, but I've also heard mixed reviews, so it gives me...
Well, didn't Woody Harrelson play
Yeah.
Yes.
Carnage? I feel like he would be great in a rated R Venom movie.
Easily.
100%.
I love Woody Harrelson. He's
Yeah.
Zombieland, he's
Oh my
amazing
God,
in
yeah.
Zombieland. Like, I think he would do a really good Cletus Cassidy. But they want to appeal to everyone, and they want everyone to go see the movie, so they make it PG-13, and they don't want to restrict it.
Unfortunately, nerfing it like hurts them. It hurts them.
It hurts them a lot.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we still got a little trailer to watch. The new Batman trailer is out. It's been out for a while, but we were waiting to watch it so we could give a little reaction into the video. So let's go ahead and we'll pull that up and we'll get it going.
Police! Hands up! Stay still! Get out of here!
Aggressive.
I do like it how they don't show his face.
Yeah. Nice cup of coffee there.
So we got the Riddler.
Yes.
This is the one villain that I feel like I would want to see if Batman was coming out with a new movie.
Easily.
He has been long needed in a movie. Has he been in a movie?
Yeah,
he
Jim
has
Carrey.
been, hasn't he?
Jim
Jim
Carrey
Carrey
played
wasn't the
him.
old.
Yeah, no, that's right.
But Batman Forever, right? Yeah.
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 Jim Carrey played the Riddler.
Unfortunately, though, it's more of a comedic role. I feel like at least this has a darker
Yeah.
tone to it, and that's more respectable for that character because you want him to be like keep you on edge.
I would see though, because that movie would have been in what, the 90s?
Yeah.
I feel like in the 90s though, Jim Carrey probably would have been the go-to guy.
100%. I mean, like, it's got the Mask vibes with it, but yeah, it is a little bit campier. It's a little bit more like comic book accurate to what most people know. Whereas this one, it seems like it's going to be closer to the animated movie Batman Hush, which I don't know if you guys have seen. It follows the Hush storyline of Batman, which is a great storyline, but it seems that this Riddler is definitely going to be playing off of that and playing off the year one Riddler, less so than the inspiration for the Jim Carrey one.
I think modern day superhero movies sort of have to play that realistic style to it. I mean, obviously Avengers is, or like, you know, any of the like Marvel movies are
There's
not,
a
are
suspension
not, like,
of disbelief, but like they try to make it as real as
it's
possible.
like a real world situation.
In the realm of possibility.
Away of sort of the comic book sort of theme. So it seems like that's kind of what they're going for here.
Fear is a tool. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
Kicking some ass, taking some names.
The introduction of the taser into the batsuit, I think, is great.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
That reminded me just like with the Joker with Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight when he's like, "Where's Rachel? Where is she?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Killing is making a choice.
Where are they?"
Powder King and Prisoners to Match.
Robert Pattinson looks emo. I love it.
Is that supposed to be Catwoman?
Yes.
You won't be long before you've nothingness.
So no more Anne Hathaway.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Oh, take it easy, sweetheart.
Penguin.
Penguin, Colin Farrell as the Penguin is awesome.
Wouldn't mind Danny DeVito though.
Maybe we're
Yeah,
not
but he's
so
so
different.
old.
I know.
Who are you under there?
Oh my god.
Bulletproof
He's
batsuit.
Damn.
Just eating the bullets.
Just a little more than bulletproof.
My question is, like, how do you aim at the batsuit when his face is just free? Like,
Yeah, right?
What's black
Oh, he did not look okay right there.
It's a little dirty.
and dead all over. You did come.
I got you! I got you!
I don't know what I would do if I saw that car come out. There was a fire chasing after me.
I think I'd be contemplating my pants. That's a pretty good trailer.
Okay.
I'm excited. Gives you a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Doesn't show you a whole lot. Does a good job of what a trailer's supposed to do.
Can we take in consideration the whole Alfred new redo since he's retiring?
Oh yeah, we don't have the. Well, I forgot who that.
Andy Serkis.
Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
He's the same guy that was in Now You See Me, the rich guy, right? Have you seen that?
It's been a while since I've seen Now You See Me.
It's been a while, but I've seen the movies. I've seen both of them.
He,
They're making a third one as
he
well.
played Claw in Black Panther.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the old Alfred.
Yeah.
Oh, the old Alfred.
Yeah.
Then he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was the old
What's
guy
his
in
name?
there. I don't know what his name is.
Michael Caine.
Michael.
There we go.
I like him.
He's a great actor.
He's such a humble guy, and I feel like he plays a great Alfred. So
Yeah.
Oh,
but they
yeah.
they had a different Alfred though for Ben Affleck's
Yes.
Alfred, and that just
Didn't really
he
stick.
looked younger than, or I guess not younger, but he looked like the same age as Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
You know, the whole point of Alfred is like he helped raise.
He's a mentor. He's a father figure.
Yeah,
he's,
exactly. You know, I feel like you gotta have him a little bit, tad older.
Right.
But
I'm excited to see this one though. I
No,
think
this
it's gonna
one,
be
this
great.
one, I think is going to be good. It's going to be faithful to the idea of like the year one Batman that they're trying to go for, and I think it's going to just. I think it's going to be awesome. I love Robert Pattinson as an actor. Every role he's been in, you know, even in Twilight, you know, say what you want, he still acted well in Twilight.
yeah,
I mean, you can say whatever about the movies; they're not the best, but he still acted well, and he's proved it ever since then.
I
mean,
think he could play a really good Riddler for sure. At first, I thought it was the guy who actually who plays the Flash now.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
Okay.
I almost thought that was him for a second. I'm like, wait, that would make zero sense because he's
Yeah.
already the Flash. Now he's getting his own solo movie here pretty soon too.
Yeah.
He is, and that's gonna be interesting because they're already talking about doing like whole like multiverse vibe, like multiple flashes in his movie, which I feel like that'd be better off in like a second Flash movie, not really a first one, because
So kind of making him sort of like the Tom Holland of DC.
Well, the thing is, so like with Flash, it's weird because originally they had talked about that this was supposed to be a Flashpoint Paradox movie, that they were going to use the Flashpoint Paradox miniseries as the inspiration, which again they've already made a cartoon comic book movie on, which is like a true introduction into the DC multiverse, which is interesting. But like with everything that they have going into it, with Ben Affleck coming back as playing a Batman, Michael Keaton playing a Batman, and they've got Supergirl confirmed in it. Like, I feel I am worried that it's going to be way too much packed into 2 to 2.5 hours for people to like truly appreciate what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because I think they are. I mean, they're already late, but I think they're trying to
rush it.
They're
Yeah.
trying to stay on pace with Marvel. With Marvel already, getting into the multiverse. That I think they're just like, screw it, we'll get into it, and you know what, we'll deal with the consequences after, which I feel like such a bad way to do it.
Because Marvel it started all the way back with Iron Man 1, which was like
13 years ago.
2008.
Yep.
8 or 9.
And
yeah.
they gave every main character their own movie, their like second movie, and then they got like into the first Avengers, which like even I didn't quite get into the whole Marvel universe until I realized that until Thanos came in, where the first one it wasn't Endgame, it was Infinity War. Right before that, I was like, oh, this is actually all a big thing.
Right.
Instead of just watching all different, so I was like, I need to watch some movies that I haven't seen yet and get those in. Where, like you said, I feel like DC they're rushing it. If they took their time, they have the superheroes that they need.
They do, yeah.
And they could all get
Honestly,
They have so
I
many
think
heroes they
it's
do.
worth saying that I think DC superheroes are a little bit more compelling because my biggest problem with Marvel superheroes is no one has a secret identity. Everyone knows who they are. Everyone knows Tony Stark. Everyone knows who Captain America is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Falcon is. Whereas
maybe
at least
except for like Black Widow, who just
Black Widow or Spider-Man. Like the big thing is Spider-Man is one of like the only heroes in Marvel that no one knows the secret identity.
Except for
Up until their
like
most recent
his, like
Spider-Man.
half of his high school.
Right,
Yeah.
right. At least with DC, the question with any Batman story is who is the Batman?
Mm-hmm.
The idea that Clark Kent just wearing glasses, can't be noticed, which is actually a phenomenon people have like done. They put on glasses and walked by people and they didn't recognize them, which is funny to think about, like that it wouldn't work. But I think it's so much better when you have the clashing of alter egos instead of, well, I'm just Tony Stark, I'm Iron Man, so everything I'm going to do is be directed towards just being Iron Man, and there's no real like sense of a split life, which I think is more compelling in the DC nature because you have these characters who deal with a more inner drama that you can explore more in the movies.
Yeah.
I like it.
What I respect about Marvel is the fact that with their movies, they have it all uniquely in place to where they have Easter eggs for upcoming films, for future down the road movies. They plan that accordingly, and they plan it really well. That's what I respect about Marvel. It keeps you wanting to watch the next movie. Even the movies that, like, I know a lot of people were not the biggest fans of Thor 2. I personally wasn't. But
I
That was
liked
with
it.
the Ether, right?
Yeah.
yes, the significant value of that, though, is mentioning one of the Infinity Stones. So that gets people wanting to watch it. With that, then you also have, was it like the Dark Elves, I believe?
Yeah.
That kind of leads another door opening. Marvel has planned very well with all of their movies. DC, if they were to go at their own pace, I think their movies would have been much more, not successful, but I don't know, just better
Better quality,
movies.
higher quality.
Higher quality.
Because you can't say DC wasn't successful.
No,
like you
no,
have
not at
things
all.
like Suicide Squad that won an Oscar
But
for
it was
costume
kind of a
design.
standalone thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I just think they rushed the pace because with the Avengers movies coming out fairly fast, they rushed Justice League. They could have taken their time, had the Flash movie come out, the Aquaman movie come out. Those movies come out, then leading up to the whole United movie or Cyborg movie. Like,
Yeah.
they could have had a lot to do, but I know
thought
they want to keep up.
I thought they really had something going with Justice League.
Yeah.
Because they're especially right now, especially as somebody who isn't huge into comics, right?
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not going back and I'm not reading DC or Marvel comics, but I was in the Marvel universe, but now that it's sort of like, that whole thing is over, now would be a good time for just a moviegoer like me to get into something like the DC universe. And I watched Justice League and I liked it.
Yeah.
And then they had Batman vs Superman, which had mixed emotions, but I still thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like now would be a good time to get that, get the Flash movie out there and get Aquaman had a great movie, I thought too.
I enjoyed Aquaman.
And so I feel like they could have, they need some sort of they got to come together again down the road, but now would be a good time for them to get that build up going. And I think that, they're changing characters again with the Batman. Like, is this the Batman that we're going to get for this next coming phase that DC's, I'm trying to figure out what DC's plan is.
I would hope Robert Pattinson would be the Batman that they're going to stick with, at least for a couple movies, because it looks like a good movie. It looks like a good movie. Something I would want to watch. I'm already excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
If DC wants to succeed, they need to say screw it to the idea of a team up. DC has the characters to have standalone movies.
Yeah.
Do one-off movies. I mean, there are so many different storylines. I mean, on both sides, Marvel and DC, where like the Elseworlds in DC has such great storylines where they can pull anything and just make a movie. Just go for it. You know, there were talks originally of a New Gods movie that was supposed to explore like Apocalypse and whatnot, and all the New Gods, and they got rid of it for no reason. They scrapped a bunch of good sounding movies just because of like a bad reception over, Justice League, which doesn't make sense, especially if the movie has nothing to do with it. And they scrapped the New Gods movie because in Zack Snyder's Justice League they brought in Darkseid, which is silly. Like, it was a dumb reason to scrap a good idea for a movie. Yeah. They had good directors that were attached to these projects that they called them, and then like it seems like they wasted their money going for an idea that they just weren't in love with, which I don't agree with either. Like, you either got to go full send or not at all. Stop the halfway thing. If you put it into development, just let it run its course. If it ends up being a flop for DC or Marvel is still going to make money. Thor 2 still made money.
Yeah.
And personally, I thought Thor 2 was better than Thor 1. I wasn't a huge fan of the first Thor, and I wasn't a huge fan of the first Captain America either. Yeah. Like, I thought the first Captain America was probably the weakest of the Phase 1 movies. DC just needs to make up its mind whether it wants to go solo movies and like do solo trilogies or whatever, or focus on the team up. But they're trying to like do both. They're trying to rush things and try to do both worlds, which doesn't make sense. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Pick one lane and stick to that, and I think DC would be good, but they're running into the problem where they're trying to play both sides of the ball, and it ends up being a half-assed effort.
I have to throw out there that Darkseid, if you go off of like comics or like the animated cartoons, whatever, he does not appear until later on down in the once the Justice League is already developed, they have more recruitment, such as Martian Manhunter. You have like Booster Gold. You have a lot more heroes, and I know their whole like locations up in space. They have a lot more heroes to work with to take on Darkseid. I think they just want to throw out a big name villain, try getting the attention and getting the fan base just hooked on it. And I just think they rushed it. They could have easily waited a couple years, had that be built up to a big villain, not just
right. Yeah, I agree.
Their standalone movies are great. The Dark Knight was one of the best movies of all time in the box office.
Yeah.
For DC, I love the Dark Knight movies. Usually,
they need to bring back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure James Cameron's probably because he was the guy that directed that, right? Was that?
No, that was Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan did the Batman trilogy.
Psych!
But still, great amazing movies.
It's a great setup too. Like, I mean, I have no complaints about the three movies. I enjoyed all of them. Great cast.
Well, it seems like we have a lot to look forward to. Speaking of things to look forward to, do we want to dive into the winter of sports that we have coming up with
100%.
NFL,
Yes, we should.
NBA, NHL? I have taken the liberty of giving you guys some power rankings so far. Now, I know the season's already started, but it's still pretty fresh, so I figured now would be a good time.
Let's do it.
It's time we put in our bets, put in what we think, even if you're not an expert. I don't know, what do you guys want to start? NBA, NHL? Start with the NBA.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, why don't we start in the East? Now, I'm not huge into basketball because hockey's kind of my go-to winter sport, but ever since last year, my roommates were really big into basketball. Okay. And so I have began to follow it a little bit. One of them is a huge Lakers fan, so he's sort of my my go-to guy when it comes to knowing everything there needs to know about the Lakers. And he says that they're looking healthy. They're supposed to be good this year. and they should be able to make a hard playoff push.
I'm excited to see how the Lakers are going to do because I'm a Lakers fan as well. I used to watch it back when Kobe Bryant used to play.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace. I mean, they had a good team, and that really, watching them play, it excited me. And I'm a Lakers fan. I really, for the Western Conference, I'd love to see them just shine. East Conference, Charlotte Hornets personally, just because North Carolina fan.
How do you think they're going to do this year?
Lakers or Hornets?
The Hornets, if we're going to start in the East.
I would love to see them do well. I'm curious to see. I keep up with more of NFL, but at the same time, I don't know. I have high hopes.
They have them at 19.
19. So kind of middle of the pack, probably a little bit towards, on the bottom tier.
Yeah.
Underdogs.
Who do they sort of have going this year right now?
They got LaMelo Ball.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they still have ball, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
Which one is it? Is it?
I think it's
LaMelo.
Yeah, it is LaMelo. Yeah.
So many ball fucking families.
Because Lonzo's up in Chicago. Yeah. They've got LaMelo Ball. They've got Bridges, who just can jump out of the gym. I think he's real good. I think they still have Bismack Biyombo as their starting center. I don't know. I haven't looked at their roster in a while. They got Gordon Hayward, and he's supposed to be back to not where he was when he was playing in Utah, but he's supposed to be kind of back to where he was that first season in Boston before he hurt his ankle.
Right.
He should be pretty good. I could see the Hornets making a serious push for the play-in tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if they end this year in 7th, where they just have to win a game to secure their spot.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be interesting. The East is always such a mixed bag because it's usually the weaker conference just because it seems like the teams in the East usually only have a star player.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they really only have the power, the pull to bring in a single star player. Where you have your exceptions with the big three, big two now, and in Brooklyn with Harden and KD, minus Kyrie.
Is he not going to play this year?
So the team officials ruled out that unless he gets the vaccine, he just needs a single shot too. You just need the ruling in New York City is that if you are not at least one shot vaccinated, you cannot go to work.
Right.
You can't go to
that's
stadiums.
Considered his office,
right?
Or his workplaces. So can he play in away games?
He can play in away games, but
you only have him for half the season.
The home games, he's losing money.
He's losing money, but the Nets decided. They said, "Listen, if you're not going to participate in home games, then you're not going to participate at all." I don't want to say his antics, but they decided that he would be a distraction in the gym. Even if he came and practiced, every single day that they had practice. And he could practice with them. He can't play in home games, so you're taking away valuable minutes from someone who could be using that in practice to practice with the ones instead of having to run with the subs. And then also he can only play for away games while doing his Instagram lives and whatnot. Which that's his stance. That's whatever If that's his hill, he can die on it. Good for him, or whatever. I would say get vaccinated, but. I'm not going to force
Especially how much
opinion.
money you're losing. I mean,
You're losing a lot of money.
Yeah,
You're losing almost $200 million.
Yeah, and that's really going to mess up, I think, the team chemistry that the Nets have going on. Just the fact that is hovering over the coaches' heads, the players' heads.
It's a distraction.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I'm interested to see how that's going to impact them. But if we look here, so we were talking about the Nets, we were talking about the Hornets. According to TeamRankings.com. The Hornets have a 40% chance of making the playoffs and a 0.3% chance of being the champs this year.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're saying
There's a small chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
small chance, but kind of like you said, they're on that borderline of making the playoffs. At that 40%, and so it's really just going to come down to the grit of the team. Are they going to be able to, to come through with it? And
right.
Where do they have Brooklyn as? They got Brooklyn up top, 91% chance of making the playoffs, and an 18.4% chance of being the champs, which is actually the highest percentage on this entire list. Number 2 coming in at your defending champs at the Bucks at 18.1. So really, it's not that far of a percentage, but
it's doable.
Right, and I feel like this year is going to be the same thing as last year, where it's kind of the East flipped the script again. Like I said, where they used to be the weakest conference. Now they're the conference you want to play in, and it's going to be whoever wins the East is most likely going to win the championship. While the Lakers do have a great lineup, and while teams like the Utah Jazz are coming in hot, the Mavericks, all of the teams in the West are solid. I just don't see anyone competing with either the Bucks or the Nets.
Yeah,
and
I can agree to that.
I can see that.
The way the Bucks finished the year last year, they looked like a team that had a chance of making a run at multiple, not just back to back, but a couple of championships, like a dynasty in terms in like the same like talks with the Golden State Warriors and like the 90s Bulls, where they were going to the championship every single year, back to back to back.
Giannis is on a whole different level of basketball. He's insane.
Yeah.
And then not to mention the weapons he has behind him too, I think is
Chris Middleton is a great shooter, and honestly, he's a great leader. Like where Giannis is kind of the more reserved player, Chris Middleton really stepped up, and he had a bunch of key plays in the championship last year that helped push them, above and beyond where everyone thought they were going to be. Everyone thought they had the idea of championship caliber, but if they were ever going to actually pull it off. And I think the combination of Chris Middleton, Giannis, and then Drew Holiday as their kind of like de facto big three, I think it makes a really good combination of players that want to win and will do what it takes to continue to win.
Another team let's pick on maybe 2 more teams in the East here. Boston's always a big one. A lot of Celtics fans out there. Me personally, growing up in Detroit, I'm a Pistons fan. Pistons have always had their little beef with Boston. We don't need to talk about Detroit. Let's just for funsies, for anybody back at home, Detroit has a 3.9% chance of making the playoffs. Keep in mind, Charlotte Hornets had a 0.3% chance of being champs. We have a 3.9% chance of making the playoffs and a 0.0% chance of being the champs this year.
I like those odds.
I will take the odds on that one, Vegas.
You throw that on the underdog and they happen to win, you're set for life.
How about it? How about it? Bummer.
Honestly, the Pistons, I haven't followed them for a while. They've had so many people rotate off their team. Like, it's so hard to keep track of who's actually on there.
Here's the thing, is that Detroit can get people in, but once they stay there for, a year or so, they're like, this is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
We wasted, I wouldn't say we wasted, like, careers with, like, Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace.
They won a ring.
They did, which is what they needed. But ever since we lost them, we brought in Blake Griffin, which we thought would be a big part of the team, and he got out of there as quickly as possible.
So y'all are trying to get your group together and still finding it.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough year to be a Detroit fan. We'll get into that. We'll get into that as we go through the rest of the sports, just to prove that Detroit's probably gonna be at the bottom of all these lists in just about every single sport.
Growing up, though, I was the same way. My brother and I pretty much only watched the Lakers because of Kobe Bryant. So, like, if I had a team, I would pick the Lakers. But, like, I don't know. I like watching basketball so much that if someone asked me my favorite team, I just default to the Lakers. But, like, being in Ohio, I do watch a lot of Cavs games. Or being from Ohio, I do watch a lot of Cavs games. Mm-hmm. But, I don't care as long as there's basketball on. If I can watch it, like, if I can see someone dunk, someone shoot a three, hoops, am I right?
Understandable.
What do we think about Zion this year?
Yeah.
What do we think Zion's going to do this year?
The problem with Zion, obviously he has the trouble of staying healthy. He had surgery on his foot. He's out. They still don't know when he's going to come back. I think when he's in the game, he's a definite difference maker, a threat. Yeah. Like, he is a
game changer.
He's a game changer. He's a superstar. Whatever word, whatever buzzword you want to throw out there to describe someone who's got this potential of shocking the crowd. Zion has it. It's just he's got to work on staying healthy.
Yeah.
And I know there was a report that people were worried about his weight. He broke his foot. Like, you can't go out running. You can't really
there's not much to do
condition
at all.
when you break your foot and you get surgery on it. So like I think the worries of him being overweight, are silly. He's a great basketball player. He's going to continue to be a great basketball player for the years to come. I think once he gets healthy and he gets back on the court, things are going to look great for the Pelicans. They made a bunch of moves. They lost Lonzo Ball, but they have Steven Adams, I think, which gives them a chance of having a real center instead of having to play Zion at the center. And so he can play the 4-3 position that he was kind of used to. And I think he's just going to be one of the great basketball players, this year once he gets back into the game.
Worst case scenario, they can always just put him in a wheelchair and just let him just roll down the field.
Honestly, yeah. He'll still get foul calls.
All right.
Yeah.
One more team we should dabble on, and then we're going to put in our predictions for the season. Let's talk about Golden State real quick, because there has been a lot of rave going on that they're back, and they are coming out, and they want to come in hot the way that they did a few years back, that they're healthy, and Steph Curry's going to be back on his game.
I think it's all true. I think
I agree.
They have a good team.
I agree with you.
They have a really solid team. I think they got rid of a lot of problems, and Kelly Oubre Jr., who didn't really want to play off the bench. He wanted to be a starter. He was, having a lot of pushback between, himself and the rest of the team. A lot of the team didn't like him. That was a storyline from last year. But Steph Curry is going to do Steph Curry things. I know we're already a game in. Came out with a triple-double. Ridiculous. That's his first triple-double in, I think, 5 years, something like that.
I mean, it shows. All it takes is one game. Even though it's only one game,
it's still significant.
The chemistry looks better. The team looks better. They look more as a unit as they did, last year.
Right. I mean, and when you have the two best shooters in NBA history, and I'll say that, you might say Reggie Miller is better than Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is an amazing shooter. He could, if he has, that single second to set his feet, the ball is most likely going in. And Steph doesn't even need to set his feet, which is unfair to everyone else. But
true.
The combination of those two, plus who I think is one of the best all-around basketball players in the NBA right now in Draymond Green. The man can do anything.
Sure.
He might not be the most efficient scorer, as, people point out, but, he has games back in 2016 when they lost to the Cavs, where he went off and scored, I think, 36, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I mean,
he has those games in him.
He has them in him, but he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to have them when you're surrounded.
Because he's got everything. He's got weapons to
You have a good
help
team.
him out.
Right. Plus, they have Iggy back. They have Andre Iguodala back.
Yep.
I think just that combination of the core that won the championships being there, minus Kevin Durant. I think it's just going to have that spark that Golden State needed after 2 very down years to come out and play great basketball.
Yeah, they almost have that mentality we have what we need, we don't really need KD. We can pull this
They
off.
still have the star players.
Yeah.
They were just really when you hear about Golden State, you kind of hear about Kevin Durant, you hear about Steph Curry, you hear about the key names, but you don't really look at the overall picture. They have a good team. They have a stacked team. They're all talented. So, and now that Kevin Durant's not there, you have some shiners.
Yep.
So.
All right, let's put them in. We'll start with Dylan, and we'll work our way over. Pick your winner of the East, winner of the West, meeting in the finals, and then who you got on top. And then for our tiebreaker, we'll put in how many games.
If I'm being practical, if I'm being just greedy, I'm going to say Hornets for East, let's go. But if I'm being practical, I mean Bucks for the East. They have a good shot. They're looking good. West, I'm just going to stick with the Lakers. I got to stick with the Lakers.
Okay.
I'd love to see it.
Then who you got on top?
Lakers.
Lakers? How many games?
Let's keep it.
How many did the Bucks won in 6 last year, right?
Yeah. They lost their first 2 and came back.
You know what? I'll say 5.
5?
5.
Lakers in 5. Honestly, I'm going to have to stick with the Bucks. I think, like we said, the distraction with Kyrie Irving, I just think it's going to be too much to overcome. The Nets are a great team, but I just think the Bucks, they have that potential to be great for a while. Honestly, out of the West, I'm going to pick the Jazz. The Jazz are an overall really good team with stars, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Mike Conley, I think, is going to get back into his form that he was in Memphis. I think I think it's going to be not shocking because everyone knows that the Jazz are usually fairly good. They had the best record in the West last season, I believe. I just think that they're going to finally make that leap into the finals.
Right.
But
Get through the playoff grind.
Right. Yeah. Saying that, I still think the Bucks are going to win. I think the Bucks are going to repeat.
Okay.
I just think the Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday combination is just going to give so many people so many fits, and then they have a bunch of other people that'll knock down a three on you that you never expected. The Bucks are too good right now.
It's hard to argue that, and a part of me wants to take a different Eastern team just to shake things up, and if I were to pick another one, it would be the 76ers, just because I feel like that they would have the closest. I think they have a lot of stability through their regular season where they keep everybody going. It just seems like in the playoffs they just don't seem to put it all together. I gotta stick with the Bucks. I don't think the Nets are gonna be what they should be this year. I think maybe next year might be a different story when maybe they kind of get all of their pieces in a row. So I'm gonna have to take the Bucks in the East, but in the West I'm gonna go Golden State. We'll shake it up a little bit. I'm gonna go Golden State. I think this year. I mean. Again, everybody's only played one game.
Still early.
This Golden State team looks really good. I think that come playoff time, everybody's going to step up. Klay Thompson needs to stay healthy, which is going to be the most crucial part for them.
For sure.
I mean, same with Steph Curry, but he normally makes it through the regular season pretty well. But when it comes playoff time, Steph, Klay Thompson, Iggy, I mean, it's hard not to take them. So come finals. I don't know. As much as you got Lakers, right?
I have Bucks. Lakers.
I gotta go with the Bucks. I have to.
I don't blame you.
They'll probably end up getting a repeat just because. I mean, I'm just looking at other sports. Tampa Bay, they just had their repeat, so repeats are not out of the question in any sport right now. All right, well they're locked in, and we're gonna hold it to it, and we'll come back to it, a little bit more down the season, how our teams are looking,
of course.
And then I'm excited to see what they do for the playoffs. But
sounds good to me.
You guys ready to make a transition?
Yep,
let's do it.
All right, let's go NHL. This is my personally my strong suit, being from the north. Now, are there any teams that we want to dive into first of all? Are there any hockey teams you guys really pull for out there?
I mean, like I said, I'm from North Carolina. I gotta say, Carolina Hurricanes, used to go to their games. Mm-hmm. Love them. Would love to see them just kill it this year.
And moving down here, the Hurricanes are definitely my second favorite team. Obviously, the Red Wings are still the number one team in my heart.
Of course.
And when they play against each other, I have a Hurricanes jersey in my closet right now, but I also have 6 Red Wings jerseys.
Dude, just cut it in half, stitch them together, you got half and half.
I would
Frankenstein jerseys.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, so last time I went to a game, I took some friends with me, and I gave them 2 of my Red Wings jerseys that I had with me at the time, and then I wore a Hurricanes jersey because I didn't want to wear any of my other Red Wings jerseys because they got signatures on them. But obviously we're rooting for the Red Wings, and so every time the Red Wings would score, we're going crazy. And I had this random mom 2 rows behind me, and she's yelling at me, pure anger. She's like, "Why are you rooting for the wrong team when you win Hurricanes jersey?" And I'm like,
Shut up.
Gotta
love a Karen.
It doesn't matter.
I'm cheering for the goals.
Yeah.
I want to see goals scored.
The Hurricanes, are a major threat. They started a couple years back. They just regular season they grind, and I could be wrong here, so don't fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure they ended up winning their division last year. And then they had the big playoff push and we've been knocked out in the playoffs now back to back by Boston. We beat Washington when they were President's Cup trophy winners, which is the best team after the regular season.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be a Stanley Cup team that year, and the Hurricanes beat them in 7.
It was great.
And it was an awesome series.
It was awesome.
I remember that series super well. The Hurricanes look like a great team. They did lose a couple weapons this year. They lost Dougie Hamilton, which was their star defenseman.
Yeah.
And then they lost Peter Mrazek, who I thought was really good in goal. But I think that this younger guy who's got a name that I really can't pronounce because that's how Hockey Ghost. They have a lot of unpronounceable
Bunch of letters.
names.
Bunch of letters.
A lot of letters. A lot of V's.
Whole lot of vowels. A whole lot of vowels right next to each other.
The thing is that being in the Metropolitan Division, it's a really
Tough.
hard division. You
Yeah.
have the Capitals, which you can never put to the side, even though they kind of seem like they have a lot of trouble between the pipes right now in goaltending. Then you have the Penguins. As much as I hate the Penguins with a passion,
They've always been a solid team, though.
they're getting older, and and Crosby struggles to stay healthy. I think he might be out actually already for a little bit of time. But again, they're, as of right now, they are sitting at the top of the division. They've only played 4 games, but
Still early, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can never say with confidence that the Penguins aren't going to make the playoffs this year. No matter how bad they look, Malkin's back. They still have Crosby, but
consistent potential.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And same way with the Islanders. The Islanders are going to come back this year. I think they're going to be a great team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they played really well last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They just
They did.
didn't have that finish that they needed.
I thought,
They were looking good last year.
Mhm. I have some good friends of mine at school who are big Islanders fans, and so I didn't really start watching them because, no offense to the Islanders, they are an extremely boring team to watch in the regular season. They always find a way to win, but it's not pretty
Yeah.
at all. But they make the playoffs, and they had a great playoff push going. They just couldn't quite capitalize on it.
Right.
But that's because Tampa Bay is, on a
It's
whole
Tampa
level.
Bay,
Tampa Bay's
yeah.
won 2 in a row, and they're going for 3. They won without Nikita Kucherov. And Nikita Kucherov is arguably one of the best players, one of the best goal scorers in the league right now. And
So that kind of says something.
and he was gone last year, and now he's back this year.
They have an arsenal of weapons.
They do.
Yeah.
Right, they have that quick scoring potential, that'll come in and it'll shock you because it'll have something where it's 6-3, and then all of a sudden, end of regulation, we're at 6-6, and we got to go to overtime. But obviously, how are you going to continue to play like that if you're always in deficits? Like, eventually it's going to take a toll mentally, where you're going to start slipping up and you're going to start losing big games because you came out slow and let teams score on you like
Keeping
that.
that routine too. I mean, it gets predictable to where other teams, they're just going to thrive on that, and then
That's the thing too, is Andrei Vasilevsky, who is their goaltender, is one of the best goaltenders in the league.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he won the award last year for the best goaltender in the league, and so it is not common for him to be giving up that many goals. And I have a feeling that that's not something that's going to continue. He's going to step up to the plate. So the fact that the Lightning can put up that many goals in a game consistently, and then when Vasilevsky starts putting up the plate, instead of it being 7-6, it's going to be 7-1, 7-2.
yeah.
So let's talk about maybe another team or two in each conference. So we just covered Tampa Bay in the East. Detroit Red Wings. Look. I love you guys a lot. And you have Steve Yzerman back as GM. He's back in Detroit. He was the one who built Tampa Bay to the team they are now. But he came back to Detroit. He was one of the greatest hockey players of all time, played for Detroit, and now he's working behind the scenes, and I really like what he's doing. But I think they need a little bit more time. They are showing a lot more potential this year, so I think maybe given another draft or two, they'll start looking like a team that's looking pretty good.
Just a slower rebuilding process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A team that is really catching. I think we won't be at the bottom of the division. I think Buffalo will be at the bottom, and a lot of people say Ottawa is supposed to be good this year, but I think Detroit will be 2 spots. I think it'll be Buffalo at the bottom, then Ottawa, and I think Detroit will be right above them. Still not in the playoffs, but progress
Close.
from being
Yeah.
literally at the
bottom of the
second
barrel,
to last team in the NHL over the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo, please trade Jack Eichel. He does not want to play for you anymore. He's such a good player, and y'all are holding on to him. There's literally billboards in New York that say, I think it's hashtag free Jack. Like Aaron Rodgers with Green Bay. Now, don't get me wrong, they made amends, but Aaron Rodgers wanted out.
Oh, he still wants out.
And Green Bay was like, no. Yeah. And then Metropolitan, we already kind of dabbled. I know you have your Ohio Columbus Blue Jackets.
God, the Blue Jackets are so bad.
Yeah, we don't have to talk
Stop.
about
Just, I mean,
we don't even have to dabble in them. Central Division, the West in general, kind of like what we said about how the East was in the NBA. The West, I feel like, does not quite have the same caliber
right.
that the East has this year. And just looking at the Central Division, like St. Louis, they won a cup not too long ago, but they're not the team they were. Minnesota, I don't see making any progress. They're 3-0, but
Just imagine being for Nashville though, and just being like, "Yeah, I'm a Predator." Like, you don't really want to like, yeah, Predators. Like,
Or that year where the Predators probably should have won the Stanley Cup and then they pooped their pants.
They did. And that's the thing. Nashville used to be a good threat, but they don't have any more people in their core anymore. Pekka he's not even playing anymore. You know, they lost their goal scorers, or they're getting older, and it's just, I don't know what it has. Colorado is in my opinion definitely going to be winning the Central Division. Colorado is
currently to what, 3? Yeah, I mean,
they're an
1 and 2.
They're an insane team.
Yeah,
they're still trying to figure out who they're going to have as their starting goaltender, but
it's still early on.
When your first line is Nathan McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, which are 3 of like the top goal scorers in the NHL.
Yeah.
That first line is insane. And then not to mention, I know that their core and their second and third line is also really good too. And then they have their rookie defenseman, their last year rookie defenseman, who was rookie of the year and had insane, like scored more goals than like the top goal scorers in like half the NHL.
Yeah.
Like he was like,
that's insane.
They're going to be a really good team for sure. Arizona, I can't tell. Now, Chicago, I think, is going to be the team to look out for because they picked up Marc-Andre Fleury from Vegas, who is one of the most dynamic goalies that we've ever seen in the NHL. You know, because you never know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's like Steph Curry, how he can shoot from just about any position. He can make a save from just about any position.
That's huge. That's a
huge. He's not a butterfly goalie. He's not a stand-up goalie. He's
a
dynamic. Yeah,
he is. He's a really dynamic goalie, and I like him. I didn't like him when he played for the Penguins and took a cup away from Detroit. But when he left Vegas, you know, as a former goaltender in hockey, I have a lot of respect for him.
Understandable.
And then diving into the last group, the Pacific Division.
We got the Oilers on this.
I don't know. You have Connor McDavid, but it just seems like with the Oilers, it doesn't matter how good of a team they have on paper, they just can't quite. Even if they do make the playoffs, they can't put it together, and they can't seem to really make that push. You know, it's almost like the Nets. Like they have all of the names.
They have the pieces, but they can't make them into one.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't understand a puzzle.
Vegas Golden Knights are supposed to be like, if there's a team that can beat Tampa Bay in the finals, it's Vegas. They ever since they had their expansion drafts and they made it to the finals that year, they haven't really lost anybody. You know, I mean, they lost Fleury this year, but I think with Mark Stone and Riley Smith and all these guys that they have here.
But when you have the chemistry and you have the pieces for your arsenal, and you're still able to keep the majority of them, if not almost all of them together, that's a huge win for them in itself, because now they have the potential to only get better.
Yeah.
I think what's going to hurt the Knights is the fact that they've been touted for so long, where coming from from people who have been drafted in an expansion draft, you're just given up by your team. Mm-hmm. So you come in with that chip on their shoulder, which is why it was so impressive that they went to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago, and then last year they made
might have been 3 or 4 years ago now, but
whatever they came.
Yeah.
So they had that chip on the shoulder, and then the next year they came out and they had a real strong Stanley Cup playoff run. They didn't quite make it to the Stanley Cup, but they've been playing well for a number of years, kind of with that idea of, well, we were just kind of discarded, given up, put into the expansion draft, where like our teams, didn't see value in us, so they just let us go. Where I feel like eventually that kind of mindset, wears off, where they might start to get a little complacent, and I wouldn't be surprised, maybe not this year, but like next year, 2 years in advance, if the Vegas Golden Knights just have a really, really down season.
I agree.
Yeah. It just seems like, even though they made it to the finals that first year, but I don't think they've missed the playoffs since then. Like, they've made the playoffs every year they've been around. One more team, Pacific Division, the new boys, the Seattle Kraken. I guarantee by like the end of November, I will make sure we have a Seattle jersey on the wall.
On the wall? No, I'm going to be wearing it.
Dude, I would buy one.
Their jerseys are
jersey.
sick, and their team does not look that bad. Their team doesn't look terrible.
I think at least give it a couple more years. Just get.
I don't think they quite have that.
No,
Vegas
not
Golden
yet.
Knights magic.
Great jerseys though. Great jerseys.
So we don't think that they're playoff contention this year. I think a lot of people are scared just because we said the same thing about Vegas.
Yeah.
their first year, and they made it to the finals.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think they're trying not to just set them aside too quickly. I watched them play their inaugural game. They played against Vegas in Vegas. Not to mention, Vegas is such a hard arena to play in. T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, so I'll give them
The
that.
fan base.
And they put on a good show, and so it'll be. I'm interested to see what they do. Actually, here we'll put in our division winners real quick. So we'll go back to the divisions. I guess I'll kick it off, and then we'll go over.
Sounds good.
Atlantic. So starting in the East, Atlantic Division. I can't. As much as I would want to say Detroit, I still think they'll be bottom 3. I think Florida's supposed to be a really good team this year, but I haven't seen enough of them. They have Sergei Bobrovsky, who's the highest paid goaltender in the league right now, and he played amazing when he was in Columbus because he would play against Detroit a lot. And I remember anytime seeing Bobrovsky in person, he looked like he was on a whole other level. And so, but it just seems like he doesn't quite have his ducks in a row in Florida just yet. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go Tampa Bay probably. Metropolitan, I gotta go Carolina. I think that they're gonna be a great team again this year.
Yeah.
Their fan base, they're still ranked the hardest fan base to play against, or at least the #1 fan base in the NHL as of right now. Western Conference, I'm gonna go Colorado Avalanche, and Pacific Division, I'm gonna go Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
For that one.
For the Atlantic, honestly, I'm going to go with kind of a mid-table team. I think the Maple Leafs are going to have a couple of runs. They seem like a decent team where they're going to string together, streaks of 3-4 game wins, where I think they're going to kind of slowly make their way up the table, and they're going to kind of take it by surprise at the end of the year. I think they're going to have like a 4-game win streak to end the year, and they're going to take over the top spot, and everyone's going to be kind of surprised by them. For the Metropolitan, I've got the Capitals. I mean, it's Ovi. It's Ovi. Washington's going to come out. They're going to have another really good year, which is just, at this point, standard. They're kind of like the golden standard that when you think of the NHL, a team that will consistently win, and Ovechkin is just unstoppable.
Yeah.
He'll go down as the second best hockey player of all time. Or at least second best goal scorer. I'll go with that.
How about the West?
The West. Out of the Central, this one's going to be interesting. I think it might be an up year for the Blackhawks this year. I know they've started off 0-4, not ideal, or yeah, they're 0-4. I don't know. It's been a while since we've seen the Blackhawks be kind of good, kind of the team that we expect them to be. I think they've got a little bit of that underdog mentality now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and win the Central. And for the Pacific, I got to go with the Kraken. I'm going to pick the Kraken just because I love the jerseys.
Man. Oh yeah.
I think they might be able to tap into a little bit of the magic the Golden Knights had. Maybe not all of it, but I think they've got a little bit of that magic, and I think they can make a push for it.
I like it.
I dig it. Okay, for the East Conference Atlantic, I'm going to have to agree with Brian over here, Tampa Bay Lightning. I can see the Maple Leafs as well, but I'm just going to stick with the Lightning on that one. Metropolitan, Hurricanes, I can't even say anything. I have to go with Hurricanes, man.
I like it.
I got to go with Hurricanes. Can't change it. Central, it would be nice to see the Colorado Avalanche. Now, when we're dealing with the Pacific, I gotta go with Mike on this one. I'd love to see the Kraken. I just gotta root for him. I'd love to see that happen. That'd be huge.
So let's just take a look. So the Kraken right now, the Kraken have a 72% chance of making the playoffs.
That sounds pretty good.
That's some
pretty
good
dandy.
numbers. And in the division, they have a 9% chance of winning the division and a 0.24% chance of winning the cup this year.
Let's not dwell on that. Okay.
So all right. So now we'll go in. So we'll take a look at our winner of the East, winner of the West in the finals, and who we got on top. Okay. Now, this is why I did say something about Florida. Numbers wise, having all the firepower they have with Barkov and Bobrovsky, and they have so many lethal weapons. Playoffs, they got them at a 99.5% chance, which I am fully with. I'm fully with them making the playoffs. There's not a doubt in my mind that they should make the playoffs this year. Division, 54%, and the next one would probably be Tampa Bay, who's in that Atlantic Division with them at 41. So it's not it's not wrong to take Tampa Bay over them. But, the regular season and playoffs, especially in hockey, I mean, I can't really speak too much for basketball, but I just feel like in the NHL, playoff hockey it's
different field, different
like their memories get erased from everything in the regular season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different game to watch.
It's like a level up kind of thing.
It's
right.
Yeah.
When every game matters, it really heightens like people's senses. It seems.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, they on X Games, man. But Florida, 19% chance of winning the Stanley Cup this year. Carolina, 28%. That is the highest percent out of any team here. There's Carolina, a 28.08% chance of winning the Stanley Cup this year.
Baby.
Over Tampa Bay at 22%. So as a fan, I really want to see Carolina make it to the finals this year. And I think that they really could. It just seems like as long as they don't play against Boston in the playoffs, they'll be fine. I think they could beat Tampa Bay in 7 games for sure. I'm gonna go Carolina in the East, and in the West, I'm gonna go Vegas. I think Carolina wins the cup this year.
I'd love to see it.
All right, as someone who isn't all that into hockey, doesn't know all that much, just from Tampa Bay, the games I've seen them play, I got to take them out of the East. They look good, and they've looked good for the past 2 years. To quote the ESPN commercial with hockey being on ESPN, I think Lightning's going to strike thrice. I think they're going to make it to the Stanley Cup one more time. I think they have that really high ceiling that they're going to reach. I think it'll be interesting, but I do think Tampa Bay will come out of the East, and I think the Blackhawks are going to come out of the West.
The Blackhawks. Let's look at their stats real quick.
Right, because I picked them to win the division. I think they're going to have another good year.
They got Chicago right now at a 94% chance of making the playoffs, which is definitely reasonable. I don't see them not making the playoffs, especially since the Western Conference just doesn't quite to be as powerful this year. Winning the division, they got them at 7%. But what I like, Stanley Cup percentage chance is a 1.9%.
I dig it. For East, I mean, y'all already know.
You gotta do it.
Hurricanes. I gotta go with them. I would absolutely love to see them just win the Stanley Cup, just kill it. That would be just a miracle maker right there. West, like you said, West compared to the East, I just feel like it's not as strong, personally. West, Mike, I may have to agree with you. I think the Blackhawks, I would like to see it.
I think it'd be fun, yeah.
It would be fun. It'd be a good little matchup.
And then you got Carolina on top.
Oh,
obviously.
Of course. Carolina on top, yeah.
There you have it. That's it.
That is the
NHL
hockey.
rankings are locked in place. Do we want to refill and then move on?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Editing mode, go.
Live life, breathe it.
And I think
We're gonna get there.
it feels so
Wonderful. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
And we're back.
Welcome back, ladies and gents.
We are
To
back.
Zoe 101.
We're back in it. Actually,
What's that? That's Miranda. That's iCarly. Isn't it? Yeah. I'm about to say.
Wait, do you guys hear that? Did you hear that?
Dr. Squatch?
It's the bell! If you are watching this on YouTube right now, make sure you ring the bell. Get your notifications because you don't want to miss. There's going to be so many videos coming up all the time. It's not just going to be one video every week. We're going to have one for every segment, and you don't want to miss any bit of it. So
Not just sports, not just movie trailers. We're switching it up.
that's right. And we're going to dive right into it. Big thank you to Dr. Squatch for sending us their new Star Wars package. It's been out for a little while, but we have it here now, and we have not had the opportunity to smell these, so we are going to do a blind sniff roulette. We have 4 specialty Star Wars themed Dr. Squatch scents. They're new, and it's their new bars of soap, and so we're going to do a blind test, see which ones our favorites are. First, I will introduce you at least to the names. We have Only Hope Soap, featuring Obi-Wan Kenobi, and actually underneath it shows what the character is. So yeah, Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi. Classic. Wisdom Wash with Jedi Master Yoda.
Smart he is.
Followed by Dark Side Scrub featuring Sith Lord Darth Vader.
Very nice.
And Ruthless Rinse featuring Sith Warrior Darth Maul.
That's pretty
The best
aggressive,
one out of them
dude.
all.
You know, like half his body chopped off. I mean,
That's true.
that's a little
What if he
rough.
comes back?
Technically,
He does.
yeah, comes off with a little robotic bottom half.
Oh, that's true.
He has,
have
the, he,
penis,
has,
though.
he has the spider legs, and then he has regular
Look at
legs.
this!
Oh, yeah.
Look at this graphic up top too. That is something sick.
That's magical.
Like that.
That is magical.
Very
That is
lovely.
pretty. That is pretty dang.
It's nasty.
Pretty dang sick. I will put the promo code down in the link in the description below. You can get yourself a discount on
Definitely
this
check it out.
pack from Dr. Squatch, and you can even get your first bar of soap for free, courtesy of Dr. Squatch and the 384 show. My personal favorite right now, I really like the deep sea goat's milk. It's really good. It's got oats in it, so you can get that exfoliation
Oh,
and get that
nice.
scrub feel.
I dig it.
Or you got pine tar, which is always a fan favorite because it comes in a nice black bar, but it's pretty sick. So, who wants to try on the blindfold first?
I guess I'll have the lady lips as my eyes.
All right, here you go.
Let's see.
And then Mike,
How's
if
it
you
gonna
want to help
work?
me out, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna pull these out. And
How does this look? Like,
just go and give them a little shuffle.
got some good lips as eyes.
I like it. Can you
Thank
see anything?
I cannot. I see a bright light right there. Bright
All
light right
How
there.
many fingers am I holding up?
I'd like to believe 3, but that's a good guess.
You would be wrong.
Ah,
okay.
shoot.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
All right.
Wait, let me
Brad.
uncover my nose so I could smell. You know, get the.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good to
Hold it
go.
up to my nose.
Alrighty. Mike, do you want to just hand him one first?
Yeah.
Just give him a little sniff.
So am I guessing if it's Yoda, or am I just guessing just
No.
ranking?
Yeah,
We
just give it like a you know maybe
Give it like 2 or 3
A little
sniffs.
scratch and sniff.
maybe a 5. You want to do a 5-star or like a 1 to 10?
5-star.
5-star.
Sounds
5-star's
classy.
good.
Sounds classy.
Yeah, we'll go 5-star, and then you can always go back and sniff ones if you want. But this one's gonna be number 1.
Okay, number 1.
Number 1. There's a little hole in there if you can feel it.
There's a whole.
Aha. Ooh, that smells. It's pretty dang good. That's definitely taking a good 4 out of 5 for me right there.
All right,
That
we're
smells
4 out of 5.
Pretty
Setting the bar
snazzy.
high.
I dig that
4 out of
smell.
5.
all right.
That is a smell I can vibe with.
This is number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. Let's find this hole. Haha, hole found. Giggity. Not bad, not bad. Ooh. Well, side angle really hits different. I'll give that a 3 out of 5. 3 out of
Okay,
5.
3 out of
About as good, just
All right.
just shy.
So number 1 on top right now.
Number 1's on top.
This is number 3.
Okay. Hole. Swear. Aha, found it.
That's not the first time he said that.
Ouch. That's pretty good. Give it another 3 out of 5.
3.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, they're neck and neck. 2 and 3. They're keeping it close.
All right.
2 and 3 are tied.
This is number 4.
Ooh, okay. Last but
Here
not
for the
least.
last one.
I don't know, man. I think number 1 takes the lead on that one.
All right.
That
So
just
number 1, and then.
this one has to be another 3 out of 5 to me. They're just all neck and neck.
All right.
If you want-
Did you want to smell any of the other ones?
Give me the second one if you don't mind.
Number 2.
Number 2. That was really borderline. Trade you off here.
There you are, number 2 in your hand.
Yeah, that was number 2.
You know what? I'm going to upgrade this one to 4 out of 5, but I got to say number 1 just takes the win on this one.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's your number 2 then.
That is my number 2.
Did you need to smell 3 or 4?
3 and 4, I remember the odors. 3 would definitely take 3rd place. 4th, it just has to take 4th for me.
All right.
But they're all muy bien. Muy bien.
All right. You can go ahead and take those off. Your
see.
first placed soap was Obi-Wan's Only Hope soap.
Haha, Jedi Knight for the win, baby!
Very nice.
Let's go.
Very nice. All right, Mike, you want to start with you next?
Yep.
Lady lips on your head.
I'll go ahead
Do
and
it.
shuffle these up again.
What was number 2?
Number 2 was Darth Vader.
Haha.
Number 3 was Yoda, and number 4 was Darth Maul.
How iconic. Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, you know?
Yep,
First and second.
right on top with each other. So, all right, Mike, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, this one is going to be number 1.
Number 1. All right.
He found the hole right away.
He knows what's up.
Honestly, this kind of smells like a bar of Irish Spring. So like I'm gonna have to give this a 2.5 because
Okay.
it just smells like normal Irish Spring soap. So I don't.
All right. Number 2.
This one, interesting. I give this a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5?
3 out of 5.
Okay. So that you got that one on top right there. Here's number 3.
So the problem is this. I feel like this one doesn't have like a strong, distinct odor. It seems kind of like natural,
This is kind of a soapy smell.
but not even like a soapy smell. Kind of like a clean smell. I like this one more than the first one. I'm gonna give this
Okay.
one a 3 also.
You got that and kind of the second best as of right now?
Yeah.
Out of the 3? All right. And then last but not least, we have number 4.
Number 4. All right. Okay, this one kind of. It felt like it kind of burned my nose a little bit. Like in a good way with like a little bit of menthol in it. I really like this one. I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5.
All right. So that's your top one. You can take your blindfolds off because you, my friend, are on the dark side. You went
Okay.
with the dark side scrub featuring Darth Vader followed by Darth Maul. And then you have Only Hope Soap with Obi-Wan. And then Yoda's Wisdom Wash down there.
I would hate to be a
At the
Jedi kid with Mike involved because you'd be murdering me.
I'll pass these on to you then.
All
Do
right.
this one more time, and then I'll go through the what's
Mix 'em up, mix 'em
special.
up. Mix 'em
Oh,
up.
I will mix
What's
these
special about each bar of soap? Because each bar of soap has its own specialty to it, certain exfoliation, ingredients, that sort of thing. So,
Put those lady lips on your eyes, boy. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? You're
Let's
born
go.
ready? Let's give him number 1.
All right. This is number 1.
I'm on. Okay, yeah. So this one's pretty middle down the road. Nothing too fancy about it. If I was walking around smelling like this, I'm cool with it. It's not overwhelming, so I can still wear, like a cologne.
Yeah.
But then, if I have somebody sort of in my personal space, my pits are still...
If you got someone in your business.
Yeah, my pits are still smelling pretty good. So I'm just going to go down the road for now, and we'll just start with a 3 out of 5.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
It's up for change.
Number 2, ladies and gents. Hand this off to him.
Number 2.
Okay. So this one, it's like naturey. Like I actually really like this one. This one's kind of like, makes me feel like it's outdoorsy. It has a unique scent to it, and I actually really, really like this. I'm gonna put this one at my 5 right now.
This is a 5.
I have that as a 5.
Sounds good to me. Number 3.
Number 3.
Okay. This one's a tad underwhelming. I mean, it's still not bad, but there's nothing that really stands out to me. So I'll put this in my 3rd spot right now at 2.5.
Okay. Last but not least, we got this one. Here you go, sir.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Okay. This is I'm kind of feeling the same thing with number 1 on this one. Can I get number 1 again? Because right now I have that one.
Number 1 in your hand.
I'm feeling about like a 3. And I'm thinking I'm kind of liking this one a little bit more. It seems like it has a little bit of like not a spice, but like a menthol sort of kind of push to it. Where it's just kind of an extra kick. So
I got that.
this one I will bump up to a 3.5, and then the other one I'll keep at a 3.
All right. That's all 4 then. And your winner is the Yoda Wisdom Wash.
Wow.
With a 5 out of 5. The only person to give anything a 5 out of 5
Wow.
on this show.
So we all had a personal favorite in there.
Yes.
Which just goes to show that they have something for everybody. And then just to give you a rundown, so we'll start at the top. So with Yoda's Wisdom Wash, it is a lotus leaf
Okay.
scent. And actually it has lotus leaf in it, and it has 0 grit, so there's no scrub to it. Feel the lotus leaf nourish your skin as the fresh, herbaceous scent calms your mind and clears your thoughts.
Sounds like some Yoda talk to me.
Honestly.
It's got saponified oils, olives, sustainable palm, coconut, shea butter. This is all things that are in most of them anyways. Natural fragrance, lotus leaf powder, mica, kaolin clay, and sea salt. We'll go into the Darth Maul Ruthless Rinse, which I know was your number 2. This one's a heavy grit. It has black sand in it. and so that's to help kind of get that scrubbing sensation, and
Which is what I guess makes it ruthless.
yeah. Embrace the exfoliating and rejuvenating powers of black sand and dragon fruit while the spicy, woody aromas consume you. So this has dragon fruit powder in it with all the oils and then the black sand. And then the clay is the main base that keeps it together.
Holds it all
in the form. So if you want a little bit more scrub, you definitely want to go to the dark side bars, because the Darth Vader also has a heavy grit. And this one, let this dark, powerful blend take you in its grip with mighty chokeberry, exfoliating sand, and a tempting smoky scent. So now, I'll pass this around now that you guys have that sort of thought in your head. It's supposed to be a smokier scent.
I think that's what, because that was my number one. So I think that's what I felt when I said the menthol. It kind of cleared my nose a little bit.
And
it kind of smells like a charred up Anakin.
This one was the. This one was the dragon fruit with the spicy the spicy to it.
I feel like I can get the spicy now. Like hearing it, like you can kind of, not having the word while you're doing a blind smell test is hard, but like once you hear what it's supposed to be, it's a little bit easier.
It clicks better.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to smell the spicy? And
then this one, now that I say lotus leaf, give that a sniff.
It smells like my lower torso is chopped in half.
It's very like flowery.
I think you were very spot on when you said natural. Like that's the way you described it. It was a natural feel.
Yeah.
One with the force. I like it.
Yeah, that one's definitely. And then this one is bentonite clay, which is a slightly different clay. And actually, I'm gonna pull this one out and let you take a look. This is the mixture of the two clays in one. It gives that different.
It's a really unique pattern.
That different coloration to it. This one says, cleanse yourself with this soothing blend of thyme leaf and bentonite clay that will guide you to truly clean skin. So, so just thyme leaf and then the bentonite clay. This one is probably that more just, straight clean smell to it. But out of the box, it smells pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like, I know we did the blind test in the box just to keep it pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we were to actually let them aerate a little bit, take them out of the box, we might get a bit of a different smell. We might have different ratings for them.
I definitely love the fact that they're all diverse scents, and we all pick different ones because it goes to show that one scent can fit someone else's personality, like odor and all that, and it really works. I like it. I like the fact
absolutely.
that...
And it's nice that it comes in a nice little choice box, so like if you're not feeling one, you can always, gift one or switch it up.
Yeah. Never drop the soap again with Dr. Squatch. Squatch.
Again?
Dr. Squatch.
You dropped the soap prior?
Well, I'm sure you have before.
I thought it always...
You're telling me you've gone your entire life, you never dropped the soap?
I close my eyes, I use the force, I catch it.
Well, there we go.
Thank you again, Dr. Squatch, for sending us that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
If you like it, I highly, I don't know about you guys, I suggest you guys give it a try. I've been using it for a long time. The bars last forever.
It's a clean box too. It looks professionally made.
Yeah.
That's an awesome gift.
Yeah,
that's a cool gift.
Awesome. Yeah,
for anyone that loves Star Wars, they're gonna love that.
Perfect present for birthdays, and hopefully, I know they're limited edition, so maybe even get it now. So then, come Christmas time, it might come out.
Right.
Christmas early, gift early.
Yeah, a little early Christmas present.
Always be thinking ahead.
It's soap. I highly doubt it'll go bad by Christmas time. I don't think that's a thing.
It's not Lush.
Yeah. What I really like are the all-natural ingredients. A lot of things are moving towards more organic things. They're trying to avoid, like chemicals and
that's
stuff.
what people want. They want more organic. They don't want to know that they're just harming their bodies by cleaning their body.
Yeah.
That's not
I don't want my skin to get irritated just because I want to get clean.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So for this last segment, guys, we have to start wrapping it up. We're starting to run a little low on time in the podcast. If you're still with us,
always wrap it up.
What did he say?
Time to go, boys. I'm out.
All right, let's get
game. Bye-bye.
GG's, everyone.
But we want to make sure we get one more thing in for you guys. We know this episode was a lot of sports, so if you're still with us, we appreciate it. And we have so much more coming up in the next couple weeks. We had at least 4 other things on our lineup for this week that weren't just around sports. It just ended up taking up a little bit more time. But let's dive into it. It's time we get a little nitty-gritty. We're going to start debating. So if we start throwing hands, we start throwing hands.
This segment is called This or That.
All right, so we've got a list of a few popular words or phrases, things that describe something that are called many different things in many different places or pronounced differently where you're from. So we figured we might as well sit here and, describe which one that we usually use and why. First off, we have the debate of caramel versus caramel. To Dylan.
I'm going to go with caramel.
Caramel? Okay, is that just what you've heard?
That's just how I've grown up saying it. That's just how I stick with it. I respect the caramel pronunciation of people, but I gotta say caramel.
Brian?
I think caramel is such a lazy way to say that. This is a divine topping that you put on ice cream. You can put it in
apples,
coffee, apples. So underrated. It is so classy that you need to say caramel.
It's orgasmic in your mouth.
There's a second A in there for a reason. C-A-R-A-M-E-L. It's caramel.
I agree.
All right, well, I'm going to be the odd man out then, sitting in the middle, because it's caramel.
Oh,
you bougie.
The A,
bougie.
There's an A!
It's caramel. It's caramel. I mean, it's simple. It's caramel. That's what it is. It's caramel.
Silent?
Sounds like a really lazy out because you just don't want to throw in an extra syllable in there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's caramel.
That's what you know about Ohio. We're all
you eliminate all vowels from that when you say caramel. Like that's literally just C-A-R-M-L.
You're taking advantage of your vowels.
You're not even getting the E in there in the mel.
It's caramel. It's caramel.
Like what if someone's...
It's caramel fudge ripple. It's not caramel fudge ripple. Get out of here.
What if a dude's name was Mel, M-E-L, and you're just like, what's up, Mole?
It's a rad nickname.
That it is.
All right. Okay. Before we start throwing hands, the next thing we have is clicker versus remote.
Remote. I gotta say remote.
Yeah, probably remote.
See, I'm a remote person too.
Okay.
However, my grandparents, both sides, they only call it a clicker. I've never heard them call it a remote.
I personally heard a lot of older people say clicker, and I feel like it's just with the generations. Maybe I know obviously the terminology, like slang, is just different. So I feel like with older people, it's clicker. With the more youthful age groups, it's just remote.
I will say I do know some people in the southeastern Ohio region, kind of in the country Ohio region.
Down by Dayton.
Who calls it clicker.
Interesting.
Drove me crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the next one is definitely much more regional, especially even from Ohio, where the difference is. Is it a buggy or is it a cart?
Cart.
It's definitely a cart.
It's a shopping cart. It's a shopping cart.
Is a shopping. It's not buggy.
Yeah.
It's not a buggy. Especially it's not a shopping buggy. It's a shopping cart or it's a cart. I don't understand it, and especially like from where I'm from, everyone calls it a buggy, and it bothers me.
I feel like it's definitely a regional thing for sure when it comes to that. And I know just between us three, I feel like our regions, we're all from different
diverse,
places, but we're still from more
Smarter.
Yeah.
So the next one we have is it a sweeper or is it a vacuum?
To me, it's a vacuum. That's just what I've grown up hearing. I've always stuck with vacuum. You hear vacuum cleaner, you don't hear like sweeper cleaner. I mean, maybe you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. But I'm sticking with vacuum.
When I think of a sweeper, I think of a broom or
a duster,
a Swiffer, or a
duster,
or something like that. I do know people that call it a sweeper, but it is most definitely a vacuum cleaner.
No, I agree. It's a vacuum. It's a vacuum. I think it's kind of like the same line of like the older generation called it a sweeper. I feel like most of the time, people above the age of 50 or maybe even 60 now these days call it a sweeper. They always say pull out the sweeper. I think it is also kind of regional. Next, do you call it a hat or do you call it a ball cap?
I call it a hat. That also, when you go into detail, I mean, you got like the snapbacks, you got the baseball cap, like, I do say baseball cap. Now when I'm going to hats in general, I do say hats.
So what I'm wearing, is this a ball cap? Is this a baseball cap or is it a hat?
To me, it's a hat.
It's a hat.
It's a hat.
It's a hat.
Hat.
Now here's something I'll toss in there too. I'm talking about. I'll pull up a picture right here and I'll show it to you guys because I don't want to say it out loud. Just like this, right here.
That's a beanie. And not because it says it on there, but that's a beanie. Yeah. That's
Who calls that a toboggan?
I feel like...
No, you don't. No.
Oh,
no.
when I was younger,
A toboggan's a sled. That's all I have to say.
It's a giant sled. It's a giant wooden sled that you can.
That's a sled for your hat, your head. Yeah.
Sled head.
Sled
Now,
head.
now, what if it has a little puffball on top? I don't think it's a beanie anymore. I think it just becomes a winter hat.
I usually call it like a puffball hat.
A poof hat, yeah.
Poof, I can see
Puffball
that.
hat.
Yeah,
Like
puffball hat.
use the descriptor.
Get out of here, okay, with your
Yeah,
little toboggan.
toboggan.
This is you're out of the equation.
Because I was trying to think, like, is there any time I've ever really called it a toboggan? Like, if there's like something that really determines it, if it's like covers the ears. But no, it's just a beanie.
Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends that do say beanies, so when I say toboggan, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, a beanie, and they're like, oh, English. So, yeah.
If I look up toboggan hat,
Let's see, it just comes up with beanie.
it literally pulls up the same
Comes up the
website
same thing.
where you can buy a beanie. So like I would say like maybe people like with the puffball on top might be able to call it a toboggan, but when I Google search toboggan, there are no puffballs on top. None.
It's toboggan.
Okay.
All right.
I guess before things
I know I'm
get-
on the winning side of this, but
before things get a little bit too heated, we're gonna go with pecan versus pecan.
I feel like a lot of Southerners do say pecan. I prefer pecan, but that's just kind of how I say it. So I'm going with pecan. Let's hear your side,
Mike?
Dan. You too?
Oh, you want to go to me? It's pecan. It's pecan. And it might be a lazy caramel thing again, but it's pecan. You don't need to put extra emphasis on it. It's pecan.
I say pecan.
Pecan? Okay.
Yeah.
I just think of like peeing in a can.
I feel like anytime I say that word anyways, I'm gonna go to pecan just because it sounds funnier.
Right.
Yeah.
And normally, because I don't really like them personally.
Yeah.
I'm not like if they're in like brownies and stuff, I'm like no.
Okay. Syrup versus syrup.
I say syrup.
Syrup.
Uh-oh. This guy over
This
there.
bougie.
Syrup.
It's syrup.
Can I get some maple syrup?
No, it's syrup. It's definitely syrup. There's a Y. There's a Y in there. There's a Y in there. It's not SRRUP.
Syrup.
Syrup. Yeah. It's syrup.
Okay.
Like, it's syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
Syrup.
Syrup.
Well, you guys, I think we are well over time.
Yes, we have filmed so much.
We have really big things planned ahead. If you're still with us, we really appreciate it. If you like what you see, let us know. Let us know what you want us to talk about, because again, we're up for everything.
You got the veteran back. You got two new guys. I think we're all pretty entertaining. I hope you guys keep listening to us, because I mean,
Yeah, we got.
Please do.
I'd listen to us. I hope you
Yeah.
guys.
I would too.
Right?
I will throw their social medias down in the link in the description below. Give them a check out if you want. But this is how we're gonna roll now.
that like button.
Follow, subscribe, ding. He did the ding. That means you have to do it.
Yeah, y'all can like leave now.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to stay here and talk. I mean, like, another minute.
Yeah, closing the show is always.